Jacksonville. He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Oh, yeah. Can you feel it? At least we don't have to watch the Jaguars lose this week, right? Week 12 of the National Football League kicks off in less than 20 minutes. Bitter rivals in the AFC North. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cleveland Browns. Thursday night NFL football. Leading into what should be a pretty good football weekend in both college and the National Football League. Of course, a little high school playoff football tomorrow night as well. Be a nice 5 days of football. And then, of course, next week, Thanksgiving. Are you kidding, man? Absolutely outstanding. It is a great time of year. Pittsburgh, Cleveland. Week 12 kicks off in the NFL in about 20 minutes. With Dylan Denmark, the Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us on a Thursday night edition of Hacker After Dark. Denmark, I got a false start there, 5-yard penalty. There's no doubt about that, but that's okay. I regained my my senses, and let's do this. By the way, looking at this game tonight, Pittsburgh's 8-2. I mean, Mike Tomlin's coach of the year, right? It's not even close.
Yeah, it's not even him, and Dan Campbell's second, but
I mean,
yeah.
the thought was Pittsburgh coming in was thought to be third or fourth in the AFC North. They're 8-2 on the year. Mike Tomlin, he's going to be in Canton, Ohio one day. That guy's a hell of a coach, man. He is absolutely sensational. So we'll keep you updated once that game ultimately does kick off. Obviously, the Jaguars are on a bye. We'll certainly talk about Jacksonville. Former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts joins me every week here on Hacker After Dark. Cecil will stop by in less than 15 minutes. Cecil was pretty candid. He's going to give his thoughts on the Detroit fiasco, Doug Peterson's future, Trent Baalke's future, Press Taylor, Ryan Nielsen. I want to start there in just a moment. I also want to dive into this Florida-Ole Miss game as well. Saturday, high noon at the Swamp in Gainesville. Florida, no one's giving them a chance to win this game. I'm not giving them a chance. I don't think many teams are. Many people are. Interesting, right? Florida's pretty hot, though. They're looking pretty good, all things considering. I think Ole Miss is very lucky. This is a noon kick. Very lucky. Although it is a sellout at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. So a lot of college ball, a lot of NFL ball. We're with you until 10 o'clock tonight. We'll kick it off with Cecil Shorts in the guest lineup. He comes up in less than 15 minutes. Every night here on Hacker After Dark, we do start things off with a big deal of the night. And Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal. It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
So I was thinking about this on the drive in. By the way, I've done a tour of Northeast Florida this afternoon. Started at Little Hack School, picked him up, took him to a doctor's appointment in Mandarin, then had to drive to Orange Park. And I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, that live in Clay County, or if you make that commute over the Buckman Bridge into Orange Park around 5:30-ish every day, then bless you. You are stronger and more powered than I am. There is no way I would do that every day. Holy crap. That was unbelievable. You folks on Roosevelt and Blanding and the Buckman Bridge and all over there in Clay County at 5:30 on a weeknight, I have a newfound respect for you. I did that today, and hopefully I don't have to do that for a long, long time. But when your 5-year-old Denmark apparently needs his pants hemmed up, and your wife has a friend that does it, she can't live in Mandarin next to us. She can't live on the south side near the radio station. Nope. She has to live in Clay County, in Orange Park. And the only time she can see you is at 5:45 on a Thursday afternoon. So you do what you got to do in this life, right? You don't rock the boat. You don't ruffle feathers. You just kind of do what you're told after 9.5 years of marriage. So I said, yes, honey, and I got in the car and drove to Orange Park with my 5-year-old to get his pants hemmed. A lot of fun, a lot of excitement. But I was thinking about this on the drive in from Orange Park. You know, in 10 days, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to play a home game at Everbank Stadium against the Houston Texans. And Doug Peterson's going to be the head coach on the sideline. Press Taylor is going to be the offensive coordinator. Ryan Nielsen's going to be the defensive coordinator. Trent Baalke's going to be the general manager. Nothing will have changed from that fiasco in Detroit to where we are now and where we will be in 10 days. After 52-6, you thought something would happen, right? They got to do something. They're 2-9. They've lost 14 out of 17. They just gave up over a third of a mile. Top 10 worst defensive performance in the history of the National Football League for a single game. Figure something was going to happen. Some heads were going to roll, right? Nope. Everything's the same. So my question is, what's the reaction going to be from this home crowd in 10 days at Everbank Stadium? Will people show up? I hope they do. I expect them to. Jaguars have a really good fan base, a passionate fan base. But what will the reaction be to Doug Peterson and to Press Taylor and to Ryan Nielsen and to Trent Baalke and the powers that be, to Shad Khan even? Imagine it's probably not going to be positive. It's probably not going to be good. I've been putting Shad Khan's record on social media for a long time. It's just now recently garnered a lot of steam. The fact that he's 62-144 since he bought the team in 2012. Shad seems to be getting a lot of the blame this week. I guess that's because everybody else is probably going to be gone in 6 weeks or 7 weeks. Doug Peterson's likely to be gone. Press Taylor's likely to be gone. Ryan Nielsen's likely to be gone. Trent Baalke, I think a lot of you hope he's likely to be gone. I still have some question about that. But let's assume he's gone as well. But obviously the guy that's going to remain here is Shad, the owner of the team. And I've made it very clear all week long, very clear. To me, there's two things about Shad Khan. There's very positive things. First and foremost, keeping the team in Jacksonville, all right? Keeping the team here. There are not words to describe. If you're a Jaguar fan, Jaguar media, right? What it means to have an NFL team in this city. And Shad Khan is doing that with that stadium of the future. I much rather gripe and argue and complain about decisions he makes in Jacksonville than not care about decisions he makes in another city. So that's a positive. Miller Electric Center, beautiful. Love it. Great for the players, the coaches. Resources to spend money. Doesn't mellow in his coaches' situations, issues. There's a lot of positives about Shad. He wants to win, spends money to win. The one super negative is he's made terrible hires. It's what he's done. He's made terrible hires. And I think the reason he's getting a lot of venom this week is because the concern is he's going to make other bad decisions, just like he's made basically for the last decade. He wants to win. He gives money to win. He gives his players, his owner, his GM, his coaches, he gives them all the resources to win. He has just put the wrong people in charge time after time after time. And I know this because they've lost 70% of the regular season games in which he's been owner. 206 regular season games. The Jaguars have lost 144 of them. This is not my opinion. That's a fact. They've lost 70% of the games. Coaching, roster assembly, which goes into player acquisition, and the players themselves have not been good enough here over the last 12 years. Will he finally get it right? What does he need to do to finally get it right? Well, I don't know what that answer is, but I can tell you what it's not. It's not doing the same thing that you've been doing for the last 12 years. You know, I had somebody tell me last week when we were talking about Detroit and when Detroit fired their head coach and they were looking for a coach and a GM, that they brought in ex-Detroit Lion players like Chris Spielman and guys that kind of talked about what they envisioned. They talked to the owner about what they envisioned in a GM and a head coach. They kind of had a roster, or I guess an assembly of former Lion players that helped them in the search process. And I've had a few people tell me, a couple of buddies, oh, that's stupid. I mean, this is the NFL. They don't do that. Well, maybe it is stupid. To you. I can't tell you what's stupid and what's not stupid, but I know this. To my knowledge, Shad's never done that in his in practices here. Let's try some different. Let's try something that we haven't done in the last 12 years. I don't need a retread. I don't need a college coach that came with baggage. I need somebody to develop Trevor Lawrence, and I need somebody that's young, that's a Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur type of guy. Whether that's Liam Cohen in Tampa, obviously Ben Johnson in Detroit, Bobby Slowick in Houston. That's what I need. And I also need a general manager that gets hired at the same time that they are on the same page. They share a common interest, a common goal. My needs are small. That's what I need. Again, two sides to Shad when it comes to ownership. And there's a lot of good. A lot of good. Keeping the team here. Practice facility. Money that he gives whenever they need it for re-signings, restructurings. Giving his guys the resources they need to be successful. Super positive things about Shad in that regard. The bad, he's made bad hires. And there's no debating that. You can't debate it. You can say anything you want. I don't care. They've lost 144 out of 206 games since he's been the owner. They've made bad hires. So whatever the hiring practice has been in Jacksonville in the last decade, however they came about hiring Mike Mularkey and Gus Bradley and Doug Marrone and Urban Meyer and Doug Peterson, however they came about retaining Gene Smith and hiring Dave Caldwell and hiring Trent Baalke, hadn't worked. None of it's worked. Do something different. Think outside the box a little bit. Do something that you have not done in the last 12 years. Back to the original point, the Jaguars play a home game in 10 days. What will that reaction be like? Peterson, Taylor, Nielsen, Baalke, all still here after the 52-6 fiasco. We'll see. People were talking about, well, what happens if Doug rattles off a few wins? Yeah, it's a good point. Here's one for you. What happens if the same old happens, man? What happens if they just keep losing games? It's good in the long term, but in the short term, the next 6 weeks will be agonizingly painful. Agonizingly painful. So enjoy the bye week. because this might be the last football freedom you have for a while. Because I get the vibe that this thing is not going to turn around. They can say whatever they want down there. You don't lose the game 52-6 if things are going well. That's just not reality. Reality to me, when you lose the game 52-6, is there are problems, brother. And I don't think those problems get fixed in a week. And I certainly don't think those problems get fixed with the same men in charge. 641-1010 on the text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Your thoughts always welcome. We will get into the world of college football coming up in about 30 minutes. I want to talk Florida. I want to talk Ole Miss. Next, I want to talk to Cecil Shorts, former Jaguar wide receiver. You get him every week here on Hacker After Dark. Cecil's been very candid with me over the years. Cecil doesn't hold a lot back. And believe me when I tell you, Cecil's about to give you his thoughts on his former team, and it's not very good. That's next. Hacker After Dark on a Thursday evening in Jacksonville, Florida. We're glad you're with us. It's 1010XL, and it's 92.5 FM.
It's like overtime, regardless of the score.
There's no overtime. No overtime? No.
The window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter.
Oh, wow.
After the game, join Hacker Leon and Coach Campo. Presented by Von Bowen Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Our first contestant, a stay-at-home gymnast from Jacksonville, Florida. It's Gwendolyn Pierce.
Thank you, Monty. I don't know who installed my air conditioner, but it hasn't had a tune-up in over 3 years. Am I cool?
Let's ask our expert judging panel. Judges? I'm sorry, Gwendolyn. You're not cool. Johnny, tell her why.
That's right. To keep your air conditioner performing at its best, you need a skilled technician to check your pressures, voltages, and air filters in the fall and the spring. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, our club members get 2 free visits a year to make sure that you are cool.
Can you tell me if my haircut is sexy?
You're better off not asking.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Arrested? Got traffic tickets? DUI? License problems? Gun charges? Drug charges? If you've been charged with any crime, call me, criminal defense attorney Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost are the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 23rd.
This State in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 21st, 1977, Baltimore Orioles first baseman, future Baseball Hall of Famer Eddie Murray wins the American League Rookie of the Year award.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL. Brought to you by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors. Proud partner of the Florida Gators.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality product. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
Hacker here. A couple weeks back, I received an invite. Not just any invite. It was to be the guest speaker at Awaken 180's virtual town hall. Every team member was there. The owner, Paige, my coach, Kate, and what seemed like 100 people from Awaken 180. My surprise? They invited me to stay for the full town hall. They talked client successes, company goals, future plans, you name it. There was nothing to hide. They all had one common goal of how they can help people better. It was amazing to hear, and it was amazing to see how happy and team-oriented everyone was. I mean, I already knew my coach had that mindset, but I thought I had the best one. Nope, they're all the best ones. That's the beauty of being company-led, not a franchise who often only looks at the bottom line. I suppose that's why Awaken 180 is now celebrating 10 years and has helped over 23,000 clients like me, Mike Dempsey, and Matt Hayes. See it firsthand while you're losing weight with the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The Farm Share Thanksgiving Distribution Drive-Thru event is Saturday, November 23rd at the FSCJ Downtown Campus, starting at 8:30 a.m. until the food runs out. Call 328-6158.
Join best-selling author, senior editor of The Athletic, and college football podcast host Jason Kirk for a discussion and book signing at Hendricks Avenue Baptist Church, Sunday, November 24th. Register for this free event at San Marco Bookstore.
Fight skin cancer by playing golf at the Melanoma Research Foundation Golf Tournament, December 30th at Queens Harbor for a day of food and fun. To sign up, call 904-507-1401.
City Rescue Mission has been providing food, clothing, and love for over 70 years to the homeless in Jacksonville. If someone you know is struggling, learn more about the City Rescue Mission at crmjax.org.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars, a bye week this week, which is good, I suppose, because Doug Peterson says the team is tired. Well, yeah, that probably happens when you lose 52-6 to the Detroit Lions, giving up 645 yards of offense. The Jaguars, again, would have the number one pick in the draft if it were held today. There are 6 games to go. And even though there has been a call for change among the fan base, it is status quo with both head coach Doug Peterson and general manager Trent Baalke. Let's talk to a former Jaguar that joins us every week here on Hacker After Dark, my buddy Cecil Shorts. 7 years in the National Football League, including 4 right here with your Jacksonville Jaguars. Cecil, how are you, my friend?
RG, I've seen better days, man. It was hard to watch that debacle that happened last Sunday. You know what it was like? It was like a big brother playing a little brother like in basketball, right? Like a big brother who's like 14, 15 years old, playing against his 8-year-old brother, taking the ball every time he gets the ball, blocking his shot, dunking on him, just embarrassing him every chance he gets. That's what it felt like watching the game. It was seriously just big brother beating up on little brother, and it wasn't close from the beginning. I don't think they punted. Detroit did not punt the entire game. The best play that the Jacksonville did have was their punt. Cook was putting the ball. I mean, his hang time was 5.18 and 5.2. Like, it was just embarrassing, honestly, to be a former Jag and watching that. Because you always, no matter what, like you always want to. I was there 4 years. I want to see them do well, right? I want to see them prosper. I want to see them, all that talent on the roster. I want to see them go out there and play well and play hard. Even if they don't win, just make it a good game, right? But it wasn't. Like Detroit literally, it looked like they was playing Madden on like rookie mode, just literally doing anything they wanted to do. and it was flat out embarrassing to watch.
Yeah, we had to give out a play of the game on the post-game show, and the play of the game I gave was the 59-yard field goal from Cam Little. And no disrespect to him.
It's long. It's long.
Right, when a field goal is the play of the game, that's probably not a good sign. You're the third former Jaguar I've had on this week, and you used the term embarrassing. That's what Leon Searcy said. Tom McManus said the same thing. I mean, watching your former team just get absolutely obliterated like that had to be, like you said, embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. It's sad to see. In Jacksonville, I was never a part of a winning, never had a winning record in Jacksonville for 4 years. So, like, the hunger for me to see them succeed is so high. I want them to win so bad. When Bortles and Ramsey and those guys were in the AFC Championship, I'm like, let's go. It was just so exciting to see because the fan base deserves it. The team deserves it. The organization deserves it. Jacksonville deserves a good team. And to see all the talent on the roster, to see how you're spending money and doing all these things, and then you go out there and you flat out, you aren't having the year you wanted, but you flat out let somebody score 50 points on you, and you score no touchdowns, and it was over 620 yards on you. Like, it was literally embarrassing to watch. Like, it was Detroit just decided. It was literally like they couldn't stop them if they wanted to. Like, they couldn't stop them it was just embarrassing. If you watch the line, the defensive line versus the offensive line, or offensive line versus defensive line, Detroit was manhandling those guys. And there's a lot of money on those offensive line, defensive line, especially the D-line. And they were manhandling those guys. And I know Detroit got called out last week for the offensive line getting pushed around a little bit. But, man, like, it wasn't even close. And then, I mean, obviously they did their scouting. The ball, if I see one more crossing route from a Detroit Lion and we couldn't cover it and we couldn't stop it or didn't know it was coming, make an adjustment, they just did what they wanted. And it was hard to watch. It was hard to see. It's hard to comprehend because I'm like, you are better.